What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Purple and Gold Bars channel and to our weekly live Monday. It's really weird having a Monday and not having a game to talk about that has some real substance when we're so close to football, right? But we just got a few more sleeps left, and then we're right into the regular season, guys. So I thought today would be a good day to go over let's see here. Hold on a sec. I want to go over a few things. Sam Darnold, how he did last year. There was a lot of talk about Sam Darnold in the media going into the season. We all know how that narrative went. I think it's kind of been overdone and overtalked, especially for us Vikings fans. We get it. He was undervalued and he produced. So, but I really wanted to take a moment and just kind of reflect on how awesome a season it was and how amazing it was to have Sam Darnold as a quarterback and just an awesome season to enjoy, right? And so I remember in the middle of the season, during one of the watch parties, Zoe's uncle or one of his friends, we were talking about Sam Darnold, and he asked me what I thought about Sam Darnold, and I found a really long way of saying that it's too early to tell, and we won't really know until the end of the season. So now the season's ended, and we are well past that honeymoon. Maybe even people might be a little bit past being upset that we let him go or whatever sentiment you might have. But I wanted to kind of reflect and enjoy what we got. Let's quickly review. He signed a 1-year, $10 million prove it deal in so March 2020 or March 13th, 2024. We all know what happened with the whole JJ. And he ended up leading us to 14 regular season wins as a starting quarterback, the most in a single season since 1998. And I think he was the first quarterback, if I'm not mistaken, Minnesota quarterback that has 14 wins in their debut season. So pretty freaking great job when it comes to the overall impact of the team. On top of that, he earned himself some career highs and earned his first Pro Bowl selection in 2024. Incredible stuff, right? When we look at his stats for the year. What's going on, guys? Welcome to the channel. And we're looking at, let's see, Mr. Sam Darnold. He ended up with, you know what? I have a comparison we can pull up. One second here. Sorry about that. The dogs were kind of going crazy there. Had to yell at them for a moment to settle down. I think my neighbors pulled in or something like that. But let's review Sam Darnold's 2024 season and his incredible stats. I have a comparison that was going around between Geno Smith and Sam Darnold. So it's a really good place to start, I think. Let me pull that up. Image file. Where is it? Here it is. There we go. Sam Darnold comparison right here. When we look at this image here, Sam Darnold ended up 361 passes completed, 545 passing attempts, 4,319 yards, 35 touchdowns to 12 interceptions, a passer rating of 102.5. And league historical feat, first quarterback in Super Bowl era to win and throw multiple touchdowns in each of his first 4 games with a new team. So, a lot of stuff. So this one, oh man, let me hide the banner here. Hide so we can see. Oh, that's all only hiding that. So, all right. So we can see Sam Darnold was slanging it out there. And when we look at the difference between him and Geno Smith here, we got 407 passing completed, 578 attempts, 4,320 passing yards, 21 passing touchdowns to 15 interceptions, and a 93.2 quarterback rating. So I personally think that the Seahawks did a great job in picking up Sam. One of the biggest factors that I said with Sam at the very end of the year, we're going to see if this reclamation project that he had kind of started when he ended up in San Francisco a few years back now, if he was going to be able to, what was going to be the outcome of his reclamation. And I said, I think we're not going to see much improvement to his ceiling. I think he's pretty much shown as high as he can get. But I think what he has done is increase that floor, and we saw that with every single game. Week 1, we had some impactful games, right? Week 1 debut with the Giants, where a lot of people had written us off. We were what was it, 2,200 different AI simulations, and we weren't even going to get a single win or something like that. You know what I mean? We were supposed to be going 0-16 last year, according to the simulations and AI and all that. But Sam Darnold came out there, went 19 for 24, 208 yards. Let me see here. 208 yards, 2 touchdowns, and and a near perfect start with 12 consecutive completions to begin the game. We all remember that beautiful pass that he threw to JJ. Oh my goodness, he was all over the place. So he was incredible there. Then fast forward to week 2, when everybody was like, it's a fluke. You know, he threw an incredible one. Let's give some props to KOC for having the guts to call a deep pass to JJ out of our end zone, and then another shout out to the offensive line for holding out and giving Sam that time to hit JJ for that incredible 99-yard or whatever it was touchdown, or whatever it went down going as. But another notable impactful moment, on top of the fact that in the second half, when the time came, he put up those 3 points, and he ended up putting up the drive to put the game out of reach for those San Francisco 49ers. So he was crucial at the very end. Week 4 versus the Packers, a 14-yard tight window touchdown to Justin Jefferson, threading a pass. It was incredible against elite tight coverage, a clutch throw that boosted Minnesota past the Packers that week. Let's not forget the incredible defensive pressure that Brian Flores and the defense put in that game to cause a turnover in that interception to make it all happen. Let's look then when we fast forward to week 14 against the Falcons. He threw 347 yards, 5 touchdowns with a passer rating of 157 and 9.9, and he had both career highs. And as a new Viking single game, and was a new both career highs as to set a new Viking single game record, as well as owned a second half perfect passer rating of 158.3. He showed flair and was like spinning it out there. It was awesome to see, especially when it was against the Falcons, against a team that we are all what up, Lefty? Against a team that we were a little jaded for after the whole Kirk Cousins debacle. But an incredible show by Sam Darnold. Mr. Zone from In the Zone Sports. If you guys want a link, I'll throw that up if you guys want to join up. But I'm going to be going over Sam Darnold's wicked year, and then talking JJ McCarthy and breaking down the 2024 draft class. If you guys are interested to join up, let me know. I'll throw that. Let me copy that, my boys. That way, if you guys want to join, feel free. Lefty, I know you might be at work, or if you're just chilling, you know what? Come on, hang up, boys. Now let's move on to December was a freaking month to remember for old Sam Darnold. He ended up, overcoming the Seattle Seahawks, and then had a career day against the Packers in Week 17. So, you know what I mean. Incredible, incredible season. Very impactful moments in games that he was a big factor in getting us to that 14-win record. So I am extremely happy that Sam Darnold was able to move himself, his floor, a little bit higher, and is going to be bringing that over to the Seattle Seahawks. And I hope they have a great season with him, except for when they show up to our house or we show up to their house. I hope they shit the bed then and we fucking dominate with JJ. But yeah, but a storybook season wasn't without a tragic ending, and it's more like last season. At first, I was joking around. I was like, who's going to be the one that's going to, I kept saying stuff like, who's going to be the actors that are going to play all these key pieces like KOC or Kwesi in the 30 for 30 biopic or whatever, the NFL films movie, or maybe the TV movie, right? But you know what? Maybe it wasn't a standalone movie like the guy from fucking, I love this dude. He's from the Rams, the greatest show on turf. Like his awesome movie. Maybe it was. It turns out maybe Sam Darnold is in the middle of writing a trilogy, and the Vikings was just the first chapter in um in his trilogy. Maybe he ends up bringing those Seahawks in a few years to the promised land. You never know, but it's not going to be before our Minnesota Vikings, I'll tell you that much. So at a glance, I am extremely happy to what Sam Darnold was able to bring to us. But out with the old, in with the new. Not to be mean or cruel, I personally have fallen in love with Sam Darnold. His story, to me, he's America's quarterback. He has shown true grit. He has shown the American way, where you get knocked down and you get back up and you just, you know what I mean? I'm Canadian, and I still love that American dream, or those movies that you see. Like, they're iconic. That's my childhood, right? So to see that happen in a Minnesota Vikings uniform was spectacular for me, and wonderful. So I'm so happy that we were able to have such a great season. I wish it would have finished more like a Disney movie than an A&E biopic. So but it is what it is. You know what I mean? Kurt Warner, that's it, Kurt Warner. But yeah, um JJ McCarthy. I wanted to go over JJ McCarthy, and I was doing a little bit of a deeper dive when it came to JJ, and a few things kind of stood out, because for me, I only really went back and looked at all of pre-draft. I looked at all of every single pass that he had thrown in Michigan, and just kind of looked and analyzed and kind of rewatched everything, and just kind of used my eye, and that's all I was able to do, right? So I never went really far back, because I kind of hung on to the cliche statements like, man, he's a proven winner at every level. He won he's been winning since Pop Warner. You know what I mean? So I didn't really research too much about what happened prior to him arriving to Michigan. And I found out a couple interesting things, right? So yeah, in high school, he started off at Nazareth Academy, in Illinois. He had a record of 26-2, and with back-to-back state title runs, won a championship as a sophomore. So it's incredible what he did there. But one thing that really stood out to me for JJ McCarthy was a decision that he made during the pandemic that really highlighted to me his drive and determination to become the best and a winner. That's all he matters. And the decision was to transfer to IMG Academy, which is located in Florida. And it's actually known as one of the toughest high school programs in all of the United States. I didn't know that. I know Zoe, or even Lefty here. I know you guys probably know that way better than me. But it was a shock to me to find out that, whoa, this guy wasn't just like in some like random like division out in like Arkansas where he was just like on the best team, and there was just no competition in his area, and then his state championship was weak or some, you know what I mean? Like, so it was cool to see that his high school pedigree, what he had, one where he started and then where he ended, is he opted to move to where he could continue to play football, and to one of the toughest divisions or districts to play in, which shows to me a lot of heart, a lot of drive and determination to become the best he can, and just be a winner at all costs, right? So, extremely excited to see that, and then not to mention in that division, in that conference, right? We're seeing 5-star recruits everywhere, on every team, and it's highlight reel after highlight reel with the quality of players that encompass their district, right? So for him to compete uh in his for the end of his high school career against that type of competition is unreal. For him not to be afraid to put his hat into that, there's a lot of quarterback or a lot of athletes that try to just make it and try to avoid every obstacle or hurdle or any way that they could be shown in a negative light, so that they have the easiest path to making a professional team. And I totally understand trying to mitigate risks and stuff in order to get there, but it's freaking amazing to see that JJ McCarthy, in the height of that situation where a lot of people were hoping, were kind of like trying to just huddle in and not participate in anything. He was like, I'm going to put it all on the line, and I'm going to go where the best competition is, and I'm going to try to do my best, and I'm going to make it or break it. And the man went led his team to an 8-0 record and national championship, was ranked number 1 in the country, right? So what does that say about JJ McCarthy? Yes, the cliche, yeah, he's been a winner at every level, but when you strip that statement down and look at the context, being a winner at every level, especially at the high school where he was at, fighting against 5-star recruits week in and week out, you know what I mean? Like on his team, as well as you know what I mean? He did an incredible job there. He from what I found, from what I was able to find through testimonials and through some like clips, some newspaper clippings and stuff like that, it looks like he had earned the trust of the team, and he had great command of the huddle, which is awesome, and things and skills that we need as a Minnesota Vikings quarterback, which is why maybe we saw a lot of that poise, right? We didn't see those flashes of greatness in those first 7 drives or whatever, or 7 plays that we saw in week 1. Um, but we saw one throw and one spectacular catch from Jordan Addison to recover from the route that he ran. And what we didn't see is those errors, those rookie errors that a lot of rookies have in that first 1 or 2 or 3 weeks in that preseason, that debut season. So to me, he looked poised, he looked confident. He wasn't on the level of Andrew Luck. Of course, Andrew Luck was unreal. Like, I remember watching Andrew Luck when he came out. To me, he looked like he'd been in the NFL for 15 years. It was unreal. The command, the power in his cadence, and freaking the way that he was calling out audibles, just his command of the offense and his poise, his just maturity was on another level. So Andrew Luck, you know what I mean? He's a beast of his own. But I saw some of that poise in JJ, and he didn't make massive mistakes, and he ran the office, and he looked confident. And I'm excited to see what happens when we unleash him on week 1. So let's move on. We all know what happened in Michigan, right? Um, 13-1 record in his sophomore year in his first year starting. He beat Ohio State and Columbus for the first time ever in 20 plus years for Michigan, right? So massive accolades when it comes to his college tenure, right? So it just keeps going on and on and on when it comes to the pedigree or the accolades that this young man has put out there when in a uniform, regardless of the level, right? But I'm excited to see. what he's able to do. Another big factor, right? He was able to sit, you know, Jordan Palmer last year. I did a breakdown of an interview that he had with Rich Eisen where he talked about, where he gave this example where he said, hey, what if you could take your 17-year-old son that's, a top prospect in high school, and if if he, regardless of what the situation was, he was able to basically follow around a quarterback room. So let's say San Francisco, or last year's Philadelphia Eagles, or any one of the Chiefs runs, whatever it is, right? And you put him in that locker room from OTAs all the way through the whole season at the very end of the Super Bowl run, and to have him witness week to week what it's like to prepare for games, what it's like to face adversity, what it's like to see conflict amongst teams, what it's like to learn and apply what your coaches are giving to you for an entire year, and then witness what a team looks like as they rise through the season, and then end up with a championship run, which ends in uh, a Super Bowl appearance, right? The experience that your 17-year-old son would get in that season would be priceless for a kid that's coming out of high school, that's looking to get into a college program, that's looking to develop to become an NFL quarterback one day. And Sam Darnold had that experience, mind you, as a quarterback, backup quarterback for San Francisco in their Super Bowl run. So now we flip the script again, and we have JJ McCarthy that sat there and witnessed what it was like for Sam Darnold to take this exact offense that he's going into right now, and the majority of his offense, the majority of his defense, same coach, same everything, the same, basically the same team, and he would have got to experience life through Sam Darnold's eyes while learning, because he was there. We know through reports that he was there as soon as he was cleared to, after his surgery and whatnot, he was there every single week and on the sidelines later in the season, right? So the experiences that JJ McCarthy got while recovering from his injury, I think are invaluable to his progression, and which is why I feel that's a big reason to why he looks so poised in his first 7 plays. So I'm excited to see what he does against the Bears. Now, there are a lot of what ifs. I'm not an idiot. I'm not going to deny the fact that we don't know if he's going to be a bust, or if he's going to excel to be a great quarterback, or a mediocre. We don't know. But it's exciting to see all these little ingredients in the recipe that he brings, that kind of foster a lot of confidence that, you know what I mean, this might be something different. And I think we have ourselves a winner, and our chances are great. That's why I started this channel, because I wanted to be here for the start of the JJ McCarthy era. It ended up being prior, and not be a bandwagoner, right? Oh, Wicket. And so um I wanted to be here and show, like, I've been around and I've been a Vikings fan for a long time. That's why I started the channel. Now I came so close after that season, but when we lost it to those Giants in the playoffs, I was so embarrassed that I never made that video. But I've said that a ton of times. But anyways, I'm excited. And I think as a Vikings fans, we all should be. And let's welcome everybody. Thanks for hanging out with me. Thanks for hanging out with me in the chat. So it sucks, man, because as a Vikings fans, we're all full of this optimism. When it comes to the majority of us, at least, except for our those diehards that refuse to buy in because they're so jaded and they don't want to be hurt. And I totally get that, because I used to be a Toronto Maple Leafs fan, and I went through heartbreak after heartbreak after heartbreak until I just gave up the sport. I don't watch hockey anymore, and that's because I'm so jaded. And And sometimes I get this little tingle when I see the Leafs start making runs, and I'm like, oh, maybe I should start jump back on the bandwagon for old time's sake. And then I go, I control myself and I say no, and they fucking shit the bed every time. So I get it. I fucking get it with our fans. We've had a lot of chances and we've come up short, but I'm extremely optimistic. I think we have the ingredients now, and I'm proud to be a Minnesota Vikings fan, and I think that a lot of us Vikings fans feel the same. So just hang on a little longer. I think it's closer than a lot of us uh can imagine. Let's leave it there. But and a lot of things have been said. The critics have been, shitting on JJ McCarthy. Freaking when Emmanuel Ocho, a few weeks back was shit talking our boy, saying shit like, is he gonna, what is he gonna do? He's never really done anything. He didn't throw a lot. He's been carried. All the fucking tired, played out freaking stuff. It was, he's carried by Blake Corum, man. All the same tired, played out stuff has been said about JJ McCarthy and how he's not really an NFL ready quarterback and all that stuff. But you know what? I could care less what any of those people say. If his opinion mattered that much, he'd still have a show on Fox. His ratings were that trash because maybe his opinions were that garbage and people tuned out. And so therefore, you don't got a show anymore. So maybe instead of being a contrarian, like I totally get it, let's play fucking devil's advocate from time to time. I love playing devil's advocate. Let's be real. But when you're on national TV, maybe you should choose and pick some spots. You know what I mean? Like Acho, you're not Skip Bayless. You're not even a poor man's fucking Nick Wright. So stay in your lane. You're a well-spoken dude. You know your shit. So let's cut back on the fucking slander and just look at it objectively. And when we peel back the layers, playing in a freaking top tier division against in high school against top college or top top players in the nation, you know what I mean, at IMG Academy. He proved a lot there, and then he proved a lot in Michigan. So sometimes you have to learn, you have to be a team player. I'm sure there are a lot of times when freaking Jerry Rice or some of these great receivers or running backs wanted the ball, wanted to pass thrown their way, but the call was something else. And they had to run their route as if they were going to get that look to keep the defense honest. Sometimes you just have to learn to play your role. And JJ McCarthy played his role very, very well in Michigan. And I'm hoping to God that he does a great job of taking those maybe call it a game manager skill set that he's developed. And he can use that as he improves in all these different areas. And those flashes that we've seen in training camp from last or this year, let's talk about the ones that we saw this year, but not only this year, but last year as well. And maybe we'll see that more regularly instead of flashes. We'll see that on a weekly basis. So I'm extremely excited because of the supporting cast. Right, we have KOC, the quarterback whisperer. We got a top tier defense. I know a lot of people have some questions. I know in my circle, some people have some questions when it comes to Mr. Brian Flores and his capability. And you know what? I want to see how he handles situations when other teams punch him in the mouth. Right? It's awesome when everything's going right and he's putting quarterbacks in a blender and he's disrupting everything and confusing the crap out of everything. But then there are times in late in the second half when he freezes and he doesn't have the confidence to continue his thing, or they come at him with stuff that confuses him. And I want to see how he adapts, how he continues to evolve. He's been evolving since he was a defensive coordinator in New England. That experience coupled with everything that has brought him to now, I'm hoping that this year we can see some more steps forward and progress from him when it comes to these situations that I know a lot of Vikings fans have criticism for. But I I am extremely excited with him because that defense creates extra possessions for our offense, which is great for a young quarterback that gives him a little bit of the comfort. Like if something goes wrong, he knows he's going to get an extra drive or two more than he would have because that defense is so dominant and confusing, especially in the early game as he's in the early part of the game, maybe as he's starting to figure things out or starting to identify things that he sees on the defense. So it gives him more reps to kind of make things happen. Not to mention, he's got all these fucking weapons. I know Jordan Addison is not going to be there for those first 3 days. Holy fuck, there's a lot of you guys in here, and thank you for joining me on the Purple and Golds Bar channel. But yes, another big factor for JJ and his success that I think is going to happen this year is that one is he's got all these weapons on offense. It's almost to a point where it's a bit of a concern. Can we all agree that that it can be it's a little bit daunting? He's got literally Jordan Addison, Justin Jefferson, TJ Hawkinson, he's got Aaron Jones out of the backfield, he's got Jordan Mason, he's got all these it's like who do you choose to go for? Maybe he might have a hard time keeping everybody warm, you know what I mean? So we've seen teams that are loaded offensively that struggle getting everybody incorporated in building chemistry. So that could be a concern. I know people are talking about that. Donnie P says, do you think Thielen is coming back? Me personally, I know the rumors are out there. I would love to see Thielen. He's one of my favorite overall, over all time NFL stories, coming undrafted and what he's been able to become a number one receiver from a guy that was overlooked by everybody. Not to mention that he did it for us. So many amazing clutch grabs, so many fucking situations where he was just clutch, right? I would love to see him back. For those reasons and the ability to mentor our younger receiver room. But ideally, I hope our receiver room and the guys that we brought in, our young guys, are developing to a point where we look back and think and go, outside of mentoring, we really don't need them, even if Jordan Addison is out for three games. But I would love to see him back because I love Thielen. I have a Thielen jersey. So you guys let me know. What do you guys think about Thielen, coming back for his retirement year and finishing in purple? But yeah, so that's another factor, right? So we got the defense bringing extra reps or extra drives for JJ McCarthy to keep, practicing in NFL and kind of getting into his groove, right? Not to mention the offense is loaded with guys that, you know what I mean? If things are going wrong in a certain way, if he needs to get the ball out quick, he's got Aaron Jones out of the backfield. Even Jordan Mason can freaking catch out of the backfield, not that bad, as well as our as well as Hawkinson, right? So all these quick routes out of you know what I mean, like when there's a lot of pressure, right? Then we got our our skill guys like Jordan Addison and Justin Jefferson, right? And then we got our wily, freaking wide receiver room with Lucky Jackson and when all our guys come back, I think Jordan Naylor's am I saying the wrong person? But either way, one of our guys is out with a hand injury right now, but which is why the Thielen talks. I think it's gonna. I think we're good. I think we have guys that are going to step up, and I'd be happy to have that backup if we needed. If the Vikings organization thinks that we need it, but another big factor, the last big factor, the three factors that I was talking about that I think are going to set up JJ for success, is having KOC in his ear, in his development, right? We all know that he was there amongst Tom Brady and witnessed him, the things that he learned just picking things up might be reasons why he is so good at coaching quarterbacks, right? So now we have him guiding and mentoring our young quarterback. And that gives me confidence when it comes to his development. And hopefully he can transition from just a game manager to a guy that's looked like uh, a threat, like he's a top tier quarterback. I would love to see that career arc out of JJ McCarthy. And maybe an honorable mention is that in general, as a team, we've kind of been mostly kept together. You know, we got Van Kinkle, we got Cashman, and we got Harrison Smith. A lot of our core is the same. So a lot of these guys are really comfortable. That chemistry is there. So though we should hopefully see a lot less procedural mistakes from the team in general. I know we might see some with our O line as we get some stuff kind of worked out, but for the most part, everywhere else, I think we're going to limit a lot of those careless mistakes that cost us a lot of uh not didn't cost us games, but put us in freaking tight situations last year. So I think that factor of our team growing together and learning from last year's mistakes are going to be a big factor for JJ McCarthy. But I want to go. Let me pull up. Remove from studio. I have an image file here. I wanted to pull up a quarterback comparison of all the quarterbacks taken in the same round as JJ McCarthy, right? So number one overall, we got Caleb Williams. So last year's stats. Oh no, wait, we're gonna go over his we're gonna look at his collegiate stats, some advanced metrics, as well as some their NFL rookie performance if they have any, right? So when we look at his college production highlights, he threw for 9,782 yards, 93 touchdowns, 14 interceptions, which is a fucking insane touchdown to interception ratio, 66.9 completion percentage, 169.3 pass rating, which, let's be real, coming out of college and his passing highlights and accolades, he looked like one of the greatest quarterbacks uh coming, so he looked like, the heir apparent. So I get it. He's a phenomenal, talented quarterback. On top of that, he's got great scrambling ability and that elusiveness that, like, maybe like a young Russell Wilson had. Like, it's like he had that radar, those eyes in the back of his head that sometimes Russ would just get out of there and you just don't know. It's like, why did Russ fucking spin out there? He had no indication that he was about to get sacked or blindsided, and he just rolled out perfectly, right? Like, so that's part of his game. When we look at advanced metrics, in Fornelli, he was plus 8.98 percentage, which is first in which is an exceptionally high passing under pressure and big time throw rates. He so in the brightest moments, he was incredible. So we know how incredible and how illustrious, you know, Caleb Williams was going into the draft. That's why he went number one overall, right? When we look at his early rookie production, right? Um, he had a up and down season, right? He was criticized by Bill Belichick in the middle of the season, and as well he also criticized the Bears organization. But overall, he didn't he had a lot of flashes and a lot of scrambles, he did a lot of good things, a lot of bad things happen because of that terrible O-line. So it's not all on Caleb Williams. So there could be a little bit of an asterisk when it comes to his rookie performance. Jaden Daniels, number 2 overall. Was Bill Belichick wrong? It might be a little bit too early to tell to judge if his criticisms were right or wrong, but it's hard to go against Bill Belichick when he is the greatest coach of all time and his eye and his football knowledge is on such a different level, so his analysis I just have to defer to. So Yeah, I think he's right. Jaden Daniels, number 2 overall, right in college. He passed for 12,750 yards, 89 touchdowns, and 20 interceptions. Another unreal touchdown to interception ratio. He is a fucking monster work ethic guy. Jaden Daniels is incredible. They did a little highlight package there for him on one of the, I think one of the draft, during the draft, I think it was, just highlighting his work ethic. Incredible, right? 66.3% completion rating, elite quarterback accuracy, 158.4 QB rating. On top of that, he had elite rushing upside, ended up rushing for 3,307 yards and a total of 35 touchdown, which is fucking insane. Um, Lamar Jackson 2.0, let's go. The accuracy, as well as the elite legs, unreal. He was third best when it comes to Fornelli at a plus 2.93%, ranked second in QWOBA plus, but a weaker red zone efficiency. So those are some advanced metrics for Jaden Daniels. As a rookie, Offensive Rookie of the Year award, 30,568 passing yards, 891 rushing yards, a record-breaking performance out of Jaden Daniels. I know going into that season, after watching their defense struggle in those first couple weeks, I did not expect such an incredible turnaround and performance by Washington. I know really, really early. I think week 1, week 2, I think I had already started to write them off. And as they progress through the season, incredible what they were able to do. Jaden Daniels a massive factor when it comes to that, right? So Drake May, number 3 overall to the Patriots. In college, he threw 8,000 yards, 8,018 yards. He threw for 63 touchdowns, 16 interceptions, a pretty decent touchdown to interception ratio. His completion percentage was pretty decent as well at a 64.9%, 154.1 passer rating, and solid rushing and scrambling numbers. He's no savant, or he's not Russell Wilson-esque, but he's more like a Josh Allen. You know what I mean? Where like he's capable to run. He's a little bit of like a bull in a china shop. He's a big dude, right? So he's explosive. He's a little faster than he looks, right? So did some great stuff there in the rushing game, right? So um he had strong big time throw metrics and top big play passing grades when it came to Drake May in college, which was awesome to see. Oh yeah, I was supposed to try to type these in or enter these in, and but either way, hopefully you guys are keeping up. I'll fill these in and put them in the actual YouTube video. But anyways, let's keep pushing forward. In Drake May's rookie season, he did come in relief a little bit into the season, so his numbers are a little bit lower, but he did do pretty good. He threw for 2,276 yards, reminiscent of our oh my god, Christian Ponder era of passing days. 15 touchdowns, also added 421 rushing yards, and was named to a Pro Bowl. Like, come on now. Pretty good stuff out of the Rook. Michael Penix Jr. didn't have really much when it came to production in the NFL in his rookie year, so we don't have to worry about that. But he had a great college stats, right? He threw for 13,741 yards, 96 touchdowns. He had a lot of interceptions, 34 interceptions, but he had a 63.3% completion rating and 146.6 passer rating, right? So these are workable attributes that that are good, right? He's got a lot of the good stuff, things that are workable, right? If they can work on reducing those interceptions and at the NFL level, right? He can, become something decent in the NFL. And that's why the Falcons ended up picking him to sit behind Kirk, right? And hopefully get mentored by him. But he was last among top 6 quarterbacks with modest metrics overall when it came to the top 6 quarterbacks in the draft, or going into the draft, or that were drafted, I should say. So that's where a lot of that criticism comes from when you see the comments in anything Falcons related, or anything like these hype videos that I see like in on YouTube on the shorts and stuff like that. there's a lot of what ifs are being asked by fans, as well as just randoms. What are you guys going to do about Mike? How's he going to play? How confident? These are the things that we're seeing about Michael Penix Jr. But the intangibles are there. He's got great size. He looks the part. He's got a big arm, right? He passed for a lot of yards. He's got experience in college. Let's move on to Bo Nix. Pick oh no, no, pick oh, I had that backwards. Bo Nix was picked 12th overall. And in college, he threw for 15,352 yards, 113 touchdowns, 26 interceptions. So a lot of freaking touchdowns. This guy was like what was that guy from the ACC? Oh, he played for our team. I'm totally he threw the fucking Minneapolis Miracle. Why can't I remember his name right now? But either way, he was an ACC freaking numbers fucking menace. Look at that, 113 touchdown, 26 interceptions. I think the oldest quarterback out of the group, right? Oh no, was it? No, yeah, I can't remember. But either way, 66.4 completion percentage, fucking amazing. I'm a big quarterback accuracy guy. I can't let go of inaccuracy when it comes to at the quarterback. It just irks me so bad, and I need to see development in that before I believe in things, right? So he's accurate, right? When it comes to his analytics, he had best in avoidance of risky plays. So he's got a good radar. He's got a good fucking sense between the ears. He feels pressure. He's able to scramble. Uh, and we saw a little bit of that year, and he's got a great young up and coming defense to support him, which has been great, which led to a pretty good rookie campaign. You know what I mean? He's got some notable wins already uh on his resume. Having Sean Payton as a as a coach, as much as I dislike him, he does know football, so he's got some advantages there. So he's done well. And then we have JJ McCarthy, our boy. I think our future NFL winning quarterback, JJ McCarthy. We don't have anything for last year. We all know that he had suffered an injury during his playing days in college. It just never was looked at, or he tweaked it in that first preseason game and ended up with a meniscus injury. He sat out the entire year to be most freaking risk adverse, and I think that was absolutely the best decision for JJ McCarthy. We ended up having a diamond in the rough kind of season. Sam Darnold, America's quarterback, brought us to such highs and lows that it was like being part of a freaking a Showtime movie, an NFL movie, whatever you want to call it, a biopic. It was like we were living it week to week. Every week, the fucking highlights, the fucking hot takes. Oh, it was great, Sam Darnold. 3 weeks. This is when the wheels fall off. How long can Sam Darnold hold out before he just shits the bed and we see Jets Darnold? Jets Darnold. Here it is. This is the week. This is every fucking time. It was like rinse and repeat, like a fucking movie. The media, the mainstream media, everybody, the haters, shit on fucking Sam Darnold the entire week and our Minnesota Vikings. And then when we came to play the game, we fucking won. It wasn't pretty, just like the fucking movies, right? We have these fucking up and down movies. You know, these fucking sports movies where it's like, this would never happen in real life, except for the ones that are like based on true events, of course. But like the ones where they have like where it's all fiction based sports movies, where it's like like it's the most Cinderella fucking situations. They have everything work fucking like perfect. Like they have like the perfect plot armor. It seemed like we had plot armor at times last year. We were fucking blessed to have an incredible season last year. I am incredibly thankful to Sam Darnold and the Minnesota Vikings for giving us such an incredible season to enjoy. But we move on. And I think that JJ McCarthy is going to be is extremely set up for success, and only incredible things are to come. Um, let me see here. What else did I want to talk about? I think I kind of talked about everything. Highlights and insights. Oh yes, I want to add some more. I did take some time to pull out some other stuff that I didn't know where to kind of throw it in here when it came to points, when it came to like NFL rookie performance. So Jaden Daniels, for example, rookie of the year, he had a deep playoff run, rookie records galore. Right, it's going to be extremely hard for JJ to match something like that, but then again, he's not in the same position that Jaden Daniels was put in, right? Jaden Daniels was put in a weird place going into the season. A lot of people didn't know what to make of that roster. I know a lot of people were criticizing the defense going into the year, and they fucking emerged and they played very very well, right? So a little bit different situation that what JJ has. JJ has a front runner team. He's got a team that can actually lead him, and all he has to do is have the poise, the leadership, the ability to follow what he's told and do what KOC wants out of him, right? So it's going to be difficult. Maybe he can produce something that's just as great in a Vikings uniform based on his situations, right? So I'm excited to see what JJ can do when it comes to his rookie campaign, I guess you could call it. Drake May was solid at times. He showed some explosiveness, explosive plays. He showed a huge arm at times. Man, that cross body freaking pass in the end zone for the fucking win in overtime or on the last play of the game, I think it was, fucking unreal. So he's got big play potential. The guy's lights out, you know. I don't mind. I like the Patriots to an extent because I learned how to play and win at Madden by studying the Patriots and learning how to play like that in Madden. And my brother-in-law is a Patriots fan, so I have a soft spot for the Patriots fan. And so when we watch football together, we watch. We watch both games, right? So we're ecstatic. Let me see here, and oh crap, I've been letting go of the chat. Let's see here, weapons galore, noob, sir, everybody. Case Keenum, that's right. Samuel, welcome, sir. Chosen. Why didn't we offer a team-friendly contract to Sam Darnold? Plain and simple, it's like this. Imagine you spent all your time going from public school all the way to high school, working your fucking ass off to make it to an Ivy League school of your choice, whatever it is, Caltech, whatever the fuck, Harvard, whatever school it is, okay? And then you apply to all these Ivy League schools, you do all your essays and stuff, and you know, a lot of these schools, you have a really good shot based on what you've accomplished, right? And all the work and preparation that you've done to set yourself up for this next stage in life, right? And then some Joe Schmo fucking community college says, hey, we'll give you a full ride. So why don't you just come here, and that way you don't have to worry about ever being in debt, at least, you know. And they give you some, well, really really sweet deal, but it's a community college. Like, what? Why would you settle for that, right? It's the same reasoning, right? We spent a lot of fucking time prior to this year or last year getting the team ready to receive a rookie potential franchise quarterback. That all that hard work, all that discipline to do everything that we need to do to prepare the team, to just go throw all that away, because the whole point of getting a rookie quarterback that's a franchise that develops into a franchise quarterback or proves to be a franchise quarterback is so that you have the cap space, because he is on a rookie scale quarterback contract, and you can build even an even stronger team around him, making it even easier to make a Super Bowl and hopefully win. Right. So going into this offseason, we're thinking we have literally completed 99% of the plan. We are ready for for JJ McCarthy to take over in the next era of fucking this plan that we've fucking spent millions of dollars and agonized for years over to prepare to get us to this point. Why throw that away and just let's give fucking Sam Darnold 27 million or whatever the fuck we needed to pay to get him to stay. You know what I mean? It feels like we'd be like throwing away all the things that we did to get to this point to start JJ, right? So that's essentially why the Vikings didn't really pursue him like that, because they're confident. We've seen behind closed doors, and also now we as fans have seen through training camp highlights, um how fucking how many flashes and how good this boy is, right? So I think it was a spectacular decision to choose that. But yes, it isn't a guarantee, but neither is Sam Darnold. And two, look at the Eagles. Look at other teams that committed to a young quarterback and moved on and worked off that rookie scale contract, right? We saw the Eagles do with Carson Wentz and then flipped out with the injury and have Nick Foles finish the job for them. But it's still the method was the same. We just recently saw it again with Jalen Hurts, right? They built a super team for that man, with all the money and cap space that they had, that to the point where Jalen Hurts didn't have to be god tier to win a Super Bowl, right? So it's not guaranteed. You're right, but I'm more willing to push my chips in on JJ McCarthy than Sam Darnold. As much as I love Sam Darnold, and I am a Sam Darnold fan for life now. I want to see him do well every single game he plays, except for when he's playing against us, because I want him to remember every single time that he loses to us that we fucking made him. So that's what I want, you know. Uh, so that's why I chosen one. In a nutshell. Last year's, and then Jacob says last year's draft class at quarterback was stacked too. Not really a bust came out of it. Yeah, not really. Well, we haven't really seen Penix, right? So Penix could flame out still. He could be the late, right? Because he didn't get a chance to start, like they gave the reins to Kirk, right? So he might be, we don't know. He's got the most potential because he had such a high interception ratio in touchdown to interception ratio in comparison to all the other top six drafted quarterbacks. But yes, as of right now, there are no drafts from last year's quarterback draft or the year before's quarterback draft or last year's rookies, right? So yeah, I'm excited. I'm happy. I think we're on the right on the right trajectory to make this year a memorable year. I think this year is going to be a year that kind of solidifies um the Vikings as a legitimate uh playoff team and dark horse contender. And then over the years, as the JJ McCarthy era progresses, we're going to go from dark horse to Super Bowl contender to front runner Super Bowl uh team to winner to champion. And then after that, we'll have the monkey off our back. We made it to, we as an organization, it's going to be amazing to see this era of Vikings football finally bring one home for all our older Vikings fans. I think back at like Alan Page and like the purple people eaters, Fran Tarkenton, all these great legendary players that didn't win the big game. Adrian Peterson, um, fucking Chad Greenway, fucking, let me go back a little bit further. I'm drawing blanks because I am on the spot, but you guys know better than I do. It's going to be beautiful to see us, this generation, this era of Vikings football, win one for our fan base. For me, I don't see this as that's a great question, chosen one. That's a great question when it comes to the. Let me find the remove. Let me add to stage. Not remove. Let me find share screen. Oh yeah, let's do this tab. I had Sam Darnold highlights. I wanted to have that playing during talking about fucking Sam Darnold, and I totally forgot because I'm a fucking dumbass. I had plans for this stream. I just poor execution. Kind of like our 2013 or whatever the fuck Christian Ponder was our fucking quarterback. But let's go 2025 Vikings schedule and let's talk about it. Images. Let's open in a new. Oh, it's my desktop. What am I doing? It's my fucking desktop. I just shared my desktop. Open a new tab. How big is that? Oh my god, that's terrible. That's terrible. Can I share my desktop? Because it is my desktop. All right. So, hold on. Let me pull up. This one looks decent. Open a new tab. That one's too small. But either way, we can see that here. Let's see if this pulls it up. There, that's nice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, this is not the whole schedule. But let's find one. Let's find the right schedule. Here we go. Viking schedule 2025. So here we go. Jesus Christ. This is fucking janky as all hell, boys. There we go. Close enough. Like I was saying, when we look at, I know there's a lot of talk about the strength of schedule. I know it on paper it is a tough schedule, but when I say, I want to say that I don't think it's a tough schedule because we are a top, in my opinion, we're a top 3, top 5 NFL roster. We are elite when it comes to our entirety of our unit. We have generational talents on offense. We have Hall of Famers on defense. We have an incredible coaching staff. Like we have as a whole, we're a top. I think top 3 isn't an overstatement. So a team like that, it does, strength of schedule shouldn't matter, right? At that point, if we're that quality, if we're that good, when especially on paper, all these games are winnable, regardless of whether they're at home or on the road. That's just how I feel because of what I saw last year, right? Even when we fucked up, we won. Even when things were messed up, we won. We found ways to win spectacularly. We blew out teams that people didn't even freaking think we would even do anything about. We turned heads really fast, and I think this year's going to be not going to be any different. The confidence is going to be even higher from our squad. So the strength, that's what I have to say when it comes to the strengths of schedule. Now, I have a prediction of like my, because I did one in the one of the previous lives. My prediction was on our low, our floor was 11 wins, and then our ceiling I had put down. Did I put down 16 or 14? We'll have to go back and check the live, but I feel like I think I said 14. I'm pretty sure I said 14. I was like, I was like, my logic is if everything goes right, if we can get 14 wins with a slightly above average quarterback, we can get 14 wins with JJ McCarthy, which is in my opinion, a slightly above average quarterback right now, where he stands in his development, right? The sky's the limit, of course, because he's so young and he's a rookie, of course. I'm not going to discount that either. But as he stands right now, when I look at just the mathematics of it, on a high, I feel like we can win 14. On a low, we can win what 11. I think that's just our floor. So yeah, a lot of W's I see here. I'm going to do an actual video later on in the end of the week where I have some actual slides because I have it written down in a document how we broke down every win for both the highs and the lows. So check that out. It's going to be coming up. So those are my win expectations for the upcoming schedule. Jacob said, "What do you think about Kwesi? What do you think Kwesi is cooking with the recent trade? Another 6th rounder to the Vikes and Mekhi Blackman to the Colts." Yes, the group chat was going crazy, insane. 2 years ago, when we first took Kwesi, when Kwesi first took the job and KOC first took the job, these kind of Kwesi moves really had me concerned, really had me wondering or just questioning what was going on. But then he's had some big hits. He's made some really good decisions overall. I know he's had some misses, Lewis Cine and et cetera, et cetera. Was Lewis Cine and Ed Donatel thing? But either way, he's had some misses, some big misses, and he's also had he's made some great decisions. Right? He decided to walk away from Kirk Cousins and brought in Sam Darnold when a lot of people, like including my friend Lefty, was ready to sell his season tickets for the season when Sam Darnold was announced as the starting quarterback, right? So or was signed. So I get it. I totally get it. But yeah. I am at the point when it comes to Kwesi is I just say in Kwesi I trust. He's got a new way, his own way of seeing things. He manipulates, or he not manipulates, but he works well his connections with other teams, and that's worked well so far for him. So I'm happy for what he's doing. I'm not apprehensive. I'm not like nervous when I see him doing things like this anymore. I'm just like, it's just Kwesi, you know. So I love it. I low-key love it because he's thinking outside the box and he's cooking. So when he's cooking, you know, we got some delicious things in the oven, right? So can't wait to see what what it becomes, right? The schedule matters for playoff position. It does, but if we end up winning 15 games or whatever it is, and we end up with a number 1 seed or whatever, you know what I mean? Like it won't matter too much, right? Like, or um if we end up making it and being the last seed and having to win a wild card game and just win all the way through and have a storybook, whatever it is, all all that is crucial to happen for our Minnesota Vikings. We can't just have you know what? I'm guilty of this. I've been in previous season, especially when we had Purple Jesus at running back. I would say things like, man, if we could just have the right team lose here, and if we could just win at the right time here and in the playoffs, if we just happen to not actually face this specific team, we're going to win the fucking Super Bowl. And when you start thinking like that, you really end up in a fucking bad place and you end up really fucking jaded when your expectations don't work out. And I've learned over the years to just let it ride. And yes, I would much rather have a higher percentage chance having won so many games that playoff seeding and positioning doesn't matter. But if we make it there and it's the road that we have to take, that's what we have to take. And I'm confident in our team and to face those adversities and prevail, right? Just like I had the same confidence last year in our team when a lot of people were doubting going into that final game against the Lions, going into the game against the Rams. I had that confidence that I was like, regardless of what happens, whether we shit the bed and we get blown out or we make a fucking game out of it or we win. I want that experience for the team. I want that road that we get. The road that we get is the lessons that we need to fucking learn, because it's not always going to be fucking pretty. We're not always going to be the number one seed. Sometimes maybe even our first Super Bowl might have a similar fucking route to the fucking 9-7 Giants that fucking nobody believed in and end up fucking dethroning Brady and the fucking GOAT, you know? So, and the Patriots, not and the GOAT and the Patriots, right? So it is what it is. I hope we do well. I hope we don't have playoff seedings to be a big factor. And yeah, I hear you though. I hear you, chosen one. I just choose to not dwell on it. I acknowledge that it is a something that I hope for the best of, but I'm also just happy with whatever our team faces. I think that it's needed for them to progress to become the team that I know that they can become, that hopefully can develop into a dynasty. Who fucking knows? You know what I mean? Like nobody fucking knew before a lot of these players, right? Like nobody knew. Like I remember when fucking oh my god. I remember when fucking Patrick Mahomes took the field in like week 12 for like on a fucking, you know what I mean? Like for like garbage time on a game. And the first time I ever saw him, and he's fucking speed walking around the field. And I'm like, who the hell is this fruit? And I'm like, what the fuck? And now he's one of the greatest quarterbacks in modern history, right? So let's let him cook. Let's let him experience the situations and the journey that he has, because the football gods, destiny, karma, whatever the fuck you want to call it, has a way of putting the right obstacles in the way of fucking great players to prove themselves, right? So we've seen it in the past. I'm just hoping and I'm banking that it's going to happen for our Minnesota Vikings this year and ongoing. Um, just a Super Bowl, Vike says, with the Vikings roster on both sides of the ball, I agree, 14 wins. Hell yeah. Let alone with a much greater offensive line in the last season, adding a second starting running back, basically two-headed monster in the backfield, Pro Bowl tight end, Pro Bowl receivers. Come on, 1,000%. This is what I was saying. Our offense is so fucking stacked. But I also played a little bit of devil's advocate, because I can understand people being worried of a team having so many offensive weapons, right? Because you get to a point like, you get enough reps to everybody to keep them warm in games, so that like if fucking something happens, a fumble happens, and now we have to play from behind or whatever the fuck it is, and we have to rely on somebody that's, that hasn't gotten, a lot of looks in the first part of the game, shit like that, right? There's so many factors. We've seen teams that have been stacked in the past. I remember the redeemed team, the Philadelphia Eagles, with that fucking incredible fucking offense that did nothing, right? So like chemistry is a big factor. Jordan Mason falls down for 7 yards, man. Like it's unreal. So it's incredible to have a nice bruising back. I'm a huge Adrian Peterson fan, hence the 28. So I love that style of running. So I'm in love with the Jordan Mason pick. And I love the fact that Aaron Jones has that ability to be elusive. He's a wily veteran. He can run. He's got the ability to be elusive with the ball. He can catch out of the backfield too. He's a unique weapon. But so that's why I say, like, the amount of quality of the entirety of the offense, the defense, the coach, the quality of the whole roster. Why is it outside the realm of possibilities for this team to win 14 games? I don't think so. This team can easily win. That's why I put them at 14 wins on the high end, their ceiling, and 11 wins on their low end. Right. So check that the past stream out if that's what if you guys were thinking about that, but I wanted to get some more clarity into my train of thought, because I broke down the NFC North, and I went through some division predictions, like way too early division predictions and way too early season predictions as well. So check that out if you guys like some Vikings content. But yeah, that brings us to the end of the line here, I guess. But yeah, so any other questions before we let you guys go and we end our night full of JJ McCarthy love? Any other questions? Any other concerns? What do you guys think, man? To me, in my opinion, all the little there, I see. Maybe I'm reading too much the tea leaves or whatever. Maybe I'm I'm fucking reading the star signs or whatever, and I'm fucking gonna be one of those guys that's like fucking, oh, I saw the fucking signs in the I went out back and I saw this eagle flying over top and it had a fucking snake in its claw and it happened at dawn and the sun it was purple, therefore it means the Minnesota Vikings are going to win 15 games. No, I know I'm venturing into stuff like that when I say things like I think that we have all the ingredients, all the pieces that could, with enough time and experience together, positively, progression, growth, I think we have the ingredients of a dynasty, right? KOC was there when he witnessed Tom Brady in the dynasty. It's probably why he's such a great quarterbacks coach. Fuck, the man had everybody thinking that the Pastronaut was a starting level quarterback and he shouldn't have been let go by the Cardinals, right? Fucking everybody's all fuck. People were fucking like, man, damn it. There were teams out there that had fucking shit quarterbacks last year that when they saw the Pastronaut for 2 weeks were like, fuck, why didn't we trade for him before the season? Our fucking quarterback is trash. Aaron Rodgers. I mean, um, so things happen, you know. Jacob Thompson says, do you think Max Brosmer is gonna be our quarterback too long term? You know what? I really like what Max Brosmer has done in the preseason. I know that the later half of the games when he's playing, you know, the third, fourth, fifth, sixth stringers, guys that are have like literally a tiny shot of making the team. I know he's playing against those guys, so there's an asterisk there to his performance. But I love what I saw. For me, the confidence, the ability to just, you know, do what he did in all the comeback drives. I know he didn't complete them, but you know what do you expect from a guy that's raw with a lot of potential, right? Um, and the fact that the coaching staff gave him so many fucking reps in the preseason in comparison to or Sam Howell, it made me think that they see something in him that a lot of us don't. And if they're comfortable to have him be a backup quarterback, um, and have him as being our third quarterback, because we'll probably keep the guy we picked up from Chicago, fucking backup. His uncle was a fucking quarterback in the NFL. I can't remember his name right now, but either way, yeah, I think he shows all the things that he needs to show for him to be picked up by a team to invest in his development. I think he's shown more than enough to any team that he can develop into that, right? There's merit in having a young, capable starting or backup quarterback, right? So freaking amazing if it happens for us and he ends up being a solid backup. Hell yeah, man. And if things don't go the right way, because I know Quasey has a way of cooking, right? He did everything he could to get Lewis Seen over to Buffalo and help him get situated over there. Really pulled some strings to kind of, you know, give him a good transition, to give him an opportunity to really prove something in the NFL, right? So if it comes down to where they're gonna let him go or something like that, I'm sure they're gonna make sure that he lands in a great position in another organization that is in heavy need for a quarterback. But me personally, I don't want to let him go, because any potential guy that could be a fucking contributor, I don't want him to go. So, but in Quasey we trust. If he lets him go, he lets him go. Just a Super Bowl Vike says, let's say the Vikings are in the playoffs this season. What teams may they face? Eagles lost a lot of impact players. Good point. Same goes with the Lions. Packers, maybe Rams. What do you think? Let me pull up the NFL teams Logos. So here we go. Okay, let me pull that up. This one? Oh, I can't even. Let me download this image. Save image. It's a JPEG download. Let me see if I can actually share that. Image file. Where is that bad boy? What the fuck did it save? Anyways, fuck it. These are the NFC. Let me share this screen. These are NFC, the AFC teams. We got the Bills, the Dolphins, the Patriots, the Jets, the Ravens, the Bengals, the Browns, the Steelers, the Texans, the Colts, the Jaguars, the Titans, the Broncos, the Chiefs, the Raiders, and the Chargers. In the NFC, the Cowboys, the Giants, the Eagles, the Commanders, the Bears, the Lions, the Packers, the Vikings, Falcons, Panthers, Saints, Buccaneers, Cardinals. I totally forgot about Ravens. I mean, not Ravens. Rams, 49ers, and Seattle. I said this hot take on my NFC North preview, review, whatever fucking stream that I just did a couple days ago. My hot take was I think the Lions are going to be lucky to win 10 games. There, I said it again. Fucking clip it, post it, share it. I don't give a fuck. They have uh um they have a way of repeating things throughout history. They always seem to come out of nowhere, have a nice little run, a nice little team for 2, 3 years, 4 years, and then they go back to obscurity for like 25, 30 years. And I think with the loss of their coordinator, I think they're going to have lost some identity, especially at the play calling and when it comes to their offense and their creativity, right? Like, are they going to be throwing these trick plays to Panay Sewell every play or every other play like they were doing? Are they going to be, you know, playing with their food? I don't think so. Right? There's going to be a lot of adjustment. Right? They're going to bring another. They're going to bring another coordinator in, regardless of how talented he is. He's going to bring in a new system, a new vocabulary. A lot of these things are going to be new for the Detroit Lions. Something that they haven't experienced for like 7 years now. People forget that they're up until this last year, they've had like the same quarterbacks coach, the fucking same offensive, defensive coordinator, fucking almost everything was the same outside the fucking head coach. There was a lot of consistency within the walls of those within the walls of the Lions, Detroit Lions organization. And I don't think that a lot of their success came from the fact that they were just so good at doing what they had become, what they've learned to become, right? So Ben Johnson's philosophies had just kind of like settled everything that they had been working on had cemented itself. And so it was easy for them to produce at such a high level. Now they don't have that. So they're going to have a lot of, you don't know what you don't know when you have a new coordinator coming in here trying to drive this fucking high powered Ferrari that may not have the experience fucking dealing with this type of fucking talent, right? There's so many factors that can happen. Not to mention, because everything is going to be so new with vocabulary, et cetera, I just think things are going to go, there's going to be a lot more mistakes and they're going to lose games as a result. Because I know this for a fact, because a few years ago, when Kirk Cousins was our team, our quarterback, and we went on that massive playoff run, and we ended up winning what, like 11 games. We had Ed Donatel as our defensive coordinator, and we shit the bed against the fucking Giants in the playoffs, right? So shit, when we had a brand new coordinator, we had a brand new GM, new fucking head coach, and we fucking came out with a pretty fucking crazy run. But when fucking shit came down to it, things fell apart for us. And I think that's what's going to happen to the Lions. They're going to fucking have a meltdown. And then after that, it's going to be a fucking steep drop off for those guys. They're going to be irrelevant, bottom of the barrel for a few years. So that's what I think. So I don't think the fucking Lions are going to be there. The teams that I think are going to be in the NFC in the NFC, the Vikings, of course. The thing with the Eagles, I'm going to give them the credit. They're the defending champions, but Saquon Barkley is so fucking good that we know what the impact of a generational running back is, right? So we know. I still remember to this day. I forget who the court or the our coach was or the play caller was. It was a fucking like 3rd and 23, and they called a fucking draw play to fucking Adrian Peterson, and he ran for the first down. You know what I mean? When you have a player like that, it, he fixes holes, he fixes weaknesses, he hides a lot of the things. Not to mention they have a fucking pretty good quarterback and a good receiving core. So I think they'll be back. Teams that I wouldn't be surprised make a good playoff run. I'll give some honorable mentions. I think the Giants are going to surprise a lot of people. I think they've done a lot of good work. I think they're going to be a little bit more progressed in their development. I think there's going to be a lot of ups and downs, but I think they're going to surprise some people. Mark my words. Tampa Bay, I think, is going to be a team that's going to be in the playoffs. So we have Vikings, Eagles, Buccaneers. I think the Seahawks are going to make a decent campaign push. I don't see 11 or 12 games being 10 to 12 games being outside of their realm of possibility. So that's another playoff team. So we have 5 teams, right? So one more team, if I'm not mistaken. See, we have these like borderline fringe teams, like you're talking about, right? So we got the Packers, the Lions, Dallas, right? Like all these like fucking fringe teams that like could somehow put things together. But like San Fran, right? I'm gonna give that last spot to Washington. Despite all the turbulence, they got Debo Samuel. He's a fucking playmaker, a game changer. I think Jaden Daniels is a game changer. So I think those are the 5 teams that'll come out of the NFC, if I'm not mistaken. That's so many teams come out of the NFC, right? 2 for the wild card, 2 for the divisional, and then 1 for the NFC title game, right? So 5 teams, if I'm not mistaken. For the AFC, the Bills, the Chiefs for sure. I think the Bengals are going to surprise some people. The Ravens for sure are a lock. And last but not least, I'm going to actually go against the grain here. I honestly think the Texans are going to turn things around this year. I think last year's learning fucking growing pains are going to light a fire under their ass. And so I think they're going to be the last fucking teams. Some teams of notice that are going to put some fucking eyebrows up. Denver Broncos, of course, they've got a fucking elite defense. They've up and coming. They're super fucking young and dynamic. The As well as the Raiders, I don't quite have the confidence to put the Chargers as that playoff team. I think they might be a fringe team. Maybe they might surprise like Broncos and the Raiders a little bit here, but I'm not. I don't think the Steelers are going to do it. I think we're going to see. It's been so long. We're bound to see it, right? A fucking losing season by the fucking Pittsburgh Steelers. So that's what I think. Those are my playoff teams or hopeful teams or high probability teams. Um, the Rams are a team that is another fringe team for the NFC North. I don't want to put them up there as a clear playoff contender because there's just so much what if. They are so dependent on Sam. I wanted to say Sam Bradford. They're so fucking dependent on Matthew Stafford that if he suffers, if he's just like dealing with injuries up and down all season, that's just going to completely ruin their years. So So yeah, those are my teams. Is it 7 totals per side? So fuck, then yeah, probably maybe a couple of those. But yeah. Um those are my 5 top front runners, I guess. Those are my guarantees. And then those other options. Yeah, the Packers, I'm not sold on Jordan Love. On my NFC North preview, I put him on my thumbnail in clown costume and clown makeup because I just, for a so-called fucking Super Bowl fucking caliber quarterback, I just don't understand how in preseason this year you go 3 and out. Okay? What the fuck, bro? For a quarterback your caliber, or from what everybody says, a 3 and out in the preseason against the fucking twos shouldn't even be a fucking thought for any critic, for even fucking for anybody. It shouldn't even fucking come to anybody's idea when it comes to fucking Jordan Love, according to what all the hype is behind him. To me, I don't forget all these fucking interceptions that he throws for the last 2 seasons, late in games, off the back foot most of the time, trying to be a fucking superhero. Okay, so for me, he hasn't done enough to prove that he's a fucking Super Bowl caliber quarterback. I give him props that he is a dynamic quarterback and he's got potential. But until I see until my eye test passes, and I can't even tell you what that is because you just know it when you see it. And he hasn't shown me enough to put him in that level to be able to carry this mediocre team that Green Bay has to the playoffs. So, yeah, don't think they might make a run, but I don't think they're going to be a playoff team. They'll 9 wins. I think I put them. Their low is like 7, and I forget, high 10, maybe. I forget. Their ceiling was 7. I think their ceiling was 10. But yeah. All right, guys. So I hope you guys yeah, thanks, Lefty. Hit that like and subscribe. I hope you guys enjoyed the Vikings football talk. I think we kind of covered everything. I wanted to give some props to Sam Darnold. We did that at the very beginning of the stream. I highlighted all the accolades and all the notable key moments from the fucking Cinderella run that he had, potential Cinderella run that he had last year. It was incredible to see. I'm truly grateful and I'm excited to see how he does. Thank you, Sam Darnold, America's quarterback. Then we thought we touched base and talked JJ McCarthy, and man, god damn it, that boy. I think he's something special, man. Like, let mark my words. We're gonna have this conversation after week 3 because we're gonna give him 3 games to let you guys become believers. And then we'll talk on that Monday morning podcast after week 3. Because week 2, we're going to be at the fucking home opener with all the boys. We're going to Skull Fest. It's going to be a fucking time. I hope you guys are in the Minneapolis area. For those of you that are in that, get your Skull Fest tickets. Come out, meet all us guys. All our football guys are going to be there. We're going to have the Skull State of Mind. Purple Jesus is going to be out there. Lefty in the Zone podcast. Tony, fucking Mike Sports Vibes, fucking so many fucking diehard Vikings. Rap's gonna be there. Fuck. So many fucking Vikings fans and fucking content creators are gonna be there. So please, I hope to see you guys there. So with all that being said, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for hanging out with me today while I was fucking ranting and raving about our Minnesota Vikings. Again, let's do this, boys. I believe in our Minnesota Vikings, and I believe in you guys. Thank you so much. I'll see you guys later.